Hey everybody, I'm back again to talk about yet another documentary. I think you know by now that your girl loves a documentary, especially true crime documentaries or just documentaries obviously about, heartache and struggle because I like the end. I like to see that justice has been served, that someone has been, redeemed who wasn't redeemed before. Like I like those kind of like real life stories, right? So this documentary, Maternal Instinct, that this is just like the crash where I just saw this all up and down my timeline. I'm like, what is this? I know nothing about it. I try not to go and research any of these documentaries prior to watching because I want to watch it with fresh eyes. I don't want to know the whole story. I want to just kind of really soak it all in, right? It took a while to watch it because I heard that I was going to be even more pissed off with Maternal Instinct than I was with The Crash. So, first, let me give you the synopsis of what Maternal Instinct is about, and then I'll tell you my takeaways. So I came prepared with my notes. Try to take notes anytime I watch these things because memory's not where it used to be, right? So essentially, this is about a girl named Taylor, a guy named Wade, a girl named Reagan. Those are the three main people in this whole story. Taylor is basically a Southern girl who meets Wade. They become boyfriend and girlfriend. She moves in after about 2 months because she says, I have to sell my furniture. The money isn't coming in. I thought it was coming in. She's supposed to be getting this great inheritance from her grandmother, but essentially her mother's a witch. It is keeping her from her money. All of a sudden, she comes into the money, or she's told, I'm going to get this $8 million inheritance from my grandmother. But she spent money. So she's buying cars for his mom and a new car for him. And he's a good old country boy, got a big old farm. So they're buying farm equipment. She tries to buy him a 500-acre farm somewhere else. And she's just like soaking up the attention. She's very pretty. And she's telling everyone about this farm, telling them about all the stuff she's doing. And she just kind of loves this, right? Essentially, somewhere down the line, the relationship starts getting a little rocky where he's not really answering her calls anymore. And they do ask him in the beginning of the documentary, like, what was it about Taylor? He's like, well, honestly, she did everything I wanted her to do. She cooked, she cleaned. If I needed the lawn mowed, she mowed the lawn. So she did everything I needed her to do. Like, okay, cool. So she's great as a girlfriend. So she comes up and she's pregnant. And Wade doesn't have any kids. She has two children. And this is the thing I didn't quite understand. They talk a lot about the girl. She had a girl and a boy, but that they didn't live with her in Wade. She just saw them every once in a while. They don't really talk about the boy that much. The girl they just mentioned very sparingly. So it's like, okay, it makes you wonder what kind of relationship that she has with those two kids and where is their father. That's never really explained where their father is, right? So she's pregnant. She's all on social media telling people she's pregnant. She's excited. But while she's doing this and telling people she's pregnant, some of her friends from her, I want to say her former life, but I guess some of her old friends, they see the social media post and they're like, huh, that's interesting. She had a hysterectomy when she was 22. So she can't biologically be pregnant. So how was that the case? The one of the medical centers that did her hysterectomy, they know who she is. They're like, huh, we did a hysterectomy. We know she can't be pregnant either. However, because of HIPAA, we can't say that to anybody. So we're gonna keep it quiet, but we definitely peeped that she's lying. On social media, her belly continues to grow and grow and grow. She does maternity photos. She like all this stuff, right? And Wade is like, when she got pregnant, she got very uncomfortable with her body. She didn't want me to touch her. She didn't want me to see her naked, all this stuff. Now, his friend, his mama, they're all like, okay, something isn't feeling right. I don't know what this is because there's a scene where she asked Wade's friend, female friend, to do the gender reveal. So she's like, yeah, I'm going to have the hospital email you. They're going to email you the results of whether it's a boy or girl. And then you can just like surprise them at the gender reveal party. She's like, okay. The email comes in, y'all. It's like a paragraph and there's like a screenshot of the gender reveal. The first thing I peeped as a writer and an editor, in the paragraph from the hospital, there's a typo. So I peeped that first and I was like, who's not going to send a letter with the typo in it? That's just kind of already my red flag's kind of up. And then the screenshot of saying it's a girl, screenshot is dated 2016. This all takes place in 2020. So of course the friend is like, called her friend and was like, girl, called Taylor, like, girl, it's 2016. I don't know what this is. Tells her, oh, no problem. I'll call the hospital. I'm sure they made a mistake. Call the hospital. Oh yeah, girl, they made a mistake. They're gonna send you a new one. She's like, okay, kind of weird, but she's like, all right. The place that sends the gender reveal is the same place where she got the hysterectomy because nobody knows this just yet. So after all these weird things start happening, the friend, and I forgot her name, she calls the medical center and is like, hey, so can you tell me about Taylor? Like, I know you can really give me all her information, but she sent this gender reveal thing and it just looks really weird. And they said, well, number one, We don't send gender reveals in that way. So I don't know who she said it came from, but it did not come from us. And then two, they told her, well, before she said Taylor, they were like, can you tell us who this is about? She's like, oh, it's Taylor, whatever her last name is. They were like, hmm. They were like, we can't legally say anything, but just trust your gut. And I was like, oh, that's that's saying something. So she's like, antennas are up. This don't feel right. Wade's mama don't feel right about it. So they find out through all these other sources that she has had hysterectomy. There's no way she can be pregnant. They're telling Wade what's going on. And he's confronting her. And she's like, no, everyone's lying on me. My mother is spreading lies. And Wade's just believing her. And I first wrote down, how the heck did he not see her naked or touch her stomach or anything? He's like, well, she didn't want to be touched because she's so uncomfortable. And let me tell you something, COVID saved that girl. But this all happened in 2020. And in 2020, when COVID was like really at its peak, if you went to the hospital for any reason, they didn't really let people in there with you. So she's going to all these doctor appointments and she didn't have to have someone come in the room with her because of COVID. So she got to lie and say, oh, I'm here and the baby's fine and I heard heartbeat. And how are they going to disprove it? And then through the documentary as well, again, I watch a lot of true crime stuff. Even if you don't watch true crime stuff, I hope that you guys know that whatever you Google, it doesn't go away. Your Google searches can always be traced back, right? And in 2020, this chick should have known that. Some of the Google searches, and I wrote down some of them because I was like, girl, let me see if I can find them. One of them was, where can I buy a fake ultrasound? That was one of the Google searches. That's actually one of my takeaways to remind y'all. Pay attention to what you put in these Google searches because you literally put, where can I buy a fake ultrasound or fake sonogram? How do I do a home birth? How do I fake a birth certificate for a home birth? It's all of these things. It's like, girl, you wanted to get caught? Like, what is wrong with you? So you notice I haven't mentioned the girl Reagan yet. Reagan is a girl that Taylor met because Taylor became a photographer of her own. She took pictures at Reagan's wedding, became friends with Reagan and her family. So Reagan obviously got married. She had a little girl already. She's pregnant with a second little girl. As Taylor's pregnancy progresses, and she's done told him when she's having a girl and all that stuff, she's now over 36 weeks pregnant, right? Past her due date, about 15, 16 days past her due date. Every time I try to go to the hospital, something happens. One of the nights they're supposed to go to the hospital, the days they're supposed to go to the hospital, she sets a small fire under the house and tells Wade, oh, I smell smoke. He goes to put the fire out. While he does that, she calls in a bomb threat to the hospital. So when he comes in, like, okay, I'm ready to go. She's like, oh, it's a bomb threat. We can't go. Right? The day that she's supposed to go to the hospital to be induced and give birth, he leaves to go, because I told you he's a farmer. He sells hogs, right? So he leaves on this 4-hour trek to sell hogs to this man, was promising him X amount of money, sent him a text message like, hey man, I'm expecting the hogs today. Here's my address. This is how much I'm going to pay you. 4.5 hours away, Wade drives, only for the guy to say, that's not even my phone number. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't order any hogs from you. She had several phones and she's sending these text messages herself. While he's doing that, she goes to Reagan's house, her supposed friend. She cuts out the baby from Raven. I'm sorry, Reagan, essentially killing her. The way the documentary starts, this girl Taylor is driving like erratically, and the police pull her over. She's also called the police to say, I need help. I'm on my way to the hospital. I had my baby in my car. Now, here's the thing. Some people may not know this because some people may not have ever been around someone who's had a baby before. But let me hip you to a few things. If you have a baby in your car, claiming that you like push the baby out or whatever, couple things. One, the car is going to be filled with blood. Your clothes are going to be covered in blood, right? That's one. Two, you are not going to have the strength to drive yourself to the hospital, especially because she has a cell phone because she's been calling the police. You would be on the side of the road holding your baby if you manage to push it out by yourself, calling the police to say, hey, I just gave birth. I'm on the side of the road. Please come with an ambulance. I don't have anything with me. I'm by myself. That's what would happen. Or you would call the police prior to giving birth to say, hey, my water broke. Hey, something's wrong. I can't possibly drive myself. The police pull her over. She has the baby in her hand. Now, mind you, she just cut this baby out of her supposed friend. The umbilical cord is still attached. The baby can't be more than, because I want to say Reagan was like 36 weeks. The baby can't be more than like 4 or 5 pounds. Unfortunately, they blur all that out. She's holding the baby in her left hand while she's driving with her right. That is not possible if you just had a baby. It's not. They take her out of the car to help her get to the hospital, put her on a little gurney. There's not a spot of blood anywhere on this girl. Not on the bottom, not the top, her hands. There's no blood anywhere. And again, if I'm the cop, and I feel like all the cops were men, I think all the cops are men. If I'm a cop, I'm going to notice that right away. Like, wait a minute. I don't see blood in the car, and there's no blood on her. How the heck does she have a baby? And why would she be holding it like this? None of this makes any sense. Take her to the hospital. She refuses to have a vaginal exam because even though she's acting erratic and things aren't lining up, she still knows well enough to know they're going to find me out. But she's still claiming, like, no, that's my baby. It's a girl. Yeah, I had her. I told you I had her in the car. And the doctor finally comes in to examine her. That doctor's in and out in 30 seconds. He comes in like, okay, so let's see what we have here. Well, it looks like you didn't have a baby. Comes out, okay, couple, she didn't have a baby. They immediately arrest her. Obviously, she goes to jail and all that stuff. So that is the premise of maternal instinct. So one, again, your Google searches, please pay attention to what you search on Google. I'm not encouraging any of you to commit any crimes. I'm hoping none of you do. If you do, those Google searches live forever, y'all. She even researched how to do a C-section at home. These are the things that this, I want to call her, trying to call her mad crazy, but this unhinged woman, these are the kind of things that this chick searched in her Google, okay? Another takeaway I got, ask questions. If things seem kind of weird and don't make sense to you, you need to ask probing questions. As soon as if I'm with a girl and she's like, oh, I'm supposed to get an $8 million inheritance from my grandmother. I bet, but your grandmother's still living, right? So why would she give you inheritance while you're still alive? You said your mom don't want you to have it. Are you sure? Like, what kind of relationship do you have with your mother? What about your father? Why haven't I met them yet? I'm going to ask follow-up questions. And I know not everybody's going to, but if things sound just kind of ridiculous or fantastical, you have to inquire more. You just have to, right? Another thing, trust your gut. Now, the mother, Wade's mother, and the friend, they definitely trusted their instincts. More like, okay, this don't feel right. We need to tell Wade. And granted, once you have information, especially now, unfortunately for them, they didn't have any extra proof. But once they have information, they did the right thing in telling Wade. It's not their fault that Wade didn't believe them. But there's also times where I thought Wade was just, yeah, not a nice thing to say. I thought Wade was kind of stupid as a person because one of the neighbors took a picture of Wade and Taylor. This is after her due date has already passed. And the picture she takes, Taylor is not pregnant in the picture. Then the picture she would post on social media hours later, she has a very big stomach. But Wade is right there. So you see that her stomach is fluctuating from being full and pregnant to not pregnant at all. What is wrong with you that you're not picking any of this stuff up? So I didn't understand any of that. None of that made any sense to me. But definitely trust your gut. If things don't feel right, please trust your gut. Listen to your instincts and be like, I don't know about this. This doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem plausible. I don't know. Right? I also question why didn't her old friends reach out? Because at one point, one of the older friends I think somehow got in touch with Wade's friend. But from the very beginning, when you saw her posting stuff about being pregnant, I'm sure she was tagging Wade in those pictures. Why didn't you reach out then to Wade or whoever, or even call the girl out? Like, Taylor, what are you talking about? You got a hysterectomy. I put that so fast, especially at that time they weren't friends anymore. I would put that so fast in her comment section of her picture. Girl, you had a hysterectomy 3 years ago. You don't remember that I was there with you? Why are you lying to everybody on here and telling everybody you're pregnant? Putting you on Front Street. I don't know why her friends didn't do that. I don't think they were afraid of her, but I'm like, what are y'all doing that y'all keeping all this stuff from her? And yeah, and my last thing, men, this is for the men. You happen to watch this channel. Don't be stupid and don't be lazy. Wade is in the whole documentary, and when she first got arrested, they arrested him too because they didn't know if he was a part of anything. The cops tell him, hey, Wade, sorry to keep you waiting. So, Taylor's been arrested, right? He's like, no, why? Because all he knows is that she called saying, I had the baby on my way to the hospital. And mind you, also that phone call was weird because when he called and told her that, he sounded so nonchalant, unbothered. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I got to take care of something real quick and then I'll meet you at the hospital. She got the phone. She was like, okay, unbothered, didn't care, not excited, not concerned. He didn't ask her if she was okay. He was just like, all right. So when they tell him she got arrested, he's like, what happened? They're like, oh, well, she went and cut a baby out and killed the woman to take her baby to pass it off as her own. And he's like, oh, what happened to the baby? Oh, the baby didn't make it. He's like, oh. my family was right about her. She's like, she wasn't pregnant at all. He was very nonchalant. It gave very much lazy and just like, oh, okay, well, that part's over. Oh, all right. There's like no feeling. And I know some men are good at masking it. I didn't feel like he was masking it. I felt like there wasn't a lot of stuff happening in here. And I can't even say he was gullible because at no point in the documentary did he say that he loved this woman. He didn't. There was no mention of marriage at all. So that also had me confused as to why she went through all of this for a man who has never once in the whole almost year that y'all were together ever said to you that he loves you. And as a man, why are you letting some chick move in with you after 2 months? I don't care if it's your girlfriend or not. We don't know each other well enough for that. You gonna let the chick move into your house 2 months and be around your family and everything like that? And again, he just wasn't asking questions. Yes, the woman can feel very uncomfortable in her pregnancy and may not want to be touched, but the bare minimum, you're gonna touch her stomach. Because if that's your kid, your first baby at that, wouldn't you be touching her belly to feel the baby move? Wouldn't you be doing something? He should have picked up on this so long ago. And I felt like he just kind of went along to get along and was just so lazy with it. It was kind of stupid. It's like, dude, you don't pick up on any of this? So those are kind of my takeaways. I will say the documentary was some parts were hard to listen to. When Reagan died, was killed, not died, when she got killed, her mom was the one that found her body. And they played the 911 call, and her mom and her dad and her sister in the documentary. And the 911 call broke my heart completely. And I can't even imagine what that would be like. Absolutely feel for her and her family because she's just innocent. She took Taylor in as a friend and treated her like a friend and had her around her family and had her taking pictures at her wedding and all this stuff. And now you've killed this young woman who all she ever did was hire a photographer for her wedding. That was her only quote unquote crime. And you killed her just because you wanted to keep up this ruse of having a baby that you could not biologically have. And for what purpose? So I do kind of agree with everyone else. This pissed me off a little more than the crash. The crash, she was a young girl. She still killed 2 people. Her actions after the accident pissed me off probably more than the actual crash did because I still don't really know what the motivation was with that. With this chick, she was so calculating. I told you she had multiple phones. She's passing herself off as multiple people, sending text messages to people, sending emails to people, pretending to be all these people just to kind of keep her story straight. Who has time for that? That's so time consuming and it's dumb. You didn't have to do that. Everyone knows you have these 2 kids. Why did you need to pretend to have a third? Why did you tell anyone, oh, I had hysterectomy, but I want a baby with you. Let's go adopt. Again, Wade is stupid. This girl Taylor is, I don't even think she's I want to say she's not evil. I didn't feel the remorse at all. And technically, I guess if you don't have remorse when you've done something that bad, it makes you a psychopath. Maybe she's a psychopath. I don't think she's a very smart one. She's just something is wrong up there. And I'm hoping that there had to be some kind of psych eval because there's no way a completely sane person is going to do all those things and jump through all those hoops to produce a real baby for a fake pregnancy. So that was Maternal Instinct. It is streaming on Netflix right now. Like I said, if you want to just see drama, definitely watch it. It was interesting. I've never heard the story before. And if you have any other documentaries that you guys have watched recently, like, ooh, girl, this was a good one, please put it down below. I'm always looking for something new to watch. I have Netflix and Hulu, I have Peacock, HBO, and Showtime. So if y'all know anything on any of those platforms that I need to be looking at, please let me know and comment below. And I'll see you guys soon.